G'day. My name is Brigitte, and I'm a frog. That's right, a frog. That's a frog.
Bonjour.
With a little bit of wog in it. A Belgian-born frog, in fact. I was raised in a land of factories, surrounded by factories, factories, and more factories. I ran away from it all. Family, friends, my country's heritage. And I landed upside down in a dry, barren place. The Wimmera, middle of nowhere, Australia. How did I end up there? Well, I was in love, of course. All I needed now was to feel like I belonged. I became a citizen. Now that was a step in the right direction. What else could I do? I was a mountain climber. No Australian woman had ever climbed Mount Everest. I became the first Australian woman to climb Everest.
It's great to be here.
And while I was at it, I climbed the highest peak on each continent. There you go. I finally belonged to the Wimmera, middle of nowhere, Australia. Funny, you know, but everywhere I looked, there were others, people like me, Australians like me, who had come from over the seas.
Good day. Yeah, it's a good day. Yeah, good day.
G'day, mate.
Good day. It's very good day.
Good day.
Right? How are you doing, mate?
G'day, mate. G'day, mate.
Why on earth would anyone leave their home to move to an empty place the size of Belgium, on the other side of the world? Some question needed to be asked, like, where do you guys come from?
We come from India, and at India, western part of the India is from Gujarat, and my city is Ahmedabad.
Where was I born? I come from South Africa. I lived...
Zululand.
I grew up in the UK, and I was basically brought up village lifestyle and spent most of my time in Oxfordshire as a child.
I'm from Kathmandu, Nepal. Actually, I was born in Kathmandu. I left Kathmandu when I was 25, so all my sort of half life lived there.
Where do we come from? We come from Kenya, Mombasa. That's where we grew up. Yeah, but we went to high school and the university in Nairobi and worked in Nairobi.
I came originally from Pakistan. My father works in a big city, it was a Peshawar big city, on the border to Afghanistan.
Okay, I know where you come from, so now tell me, why did you move from home?
1999, I moved to New Zealand, and it was a part of my PhD study. My specialization is, I say, plant breeding and genetics. When I was in Pakistan, working for government of Pakistan, and people was telling me about migration to Canada and other places, but I never thought about it because I was okay. But once I got my scholarship and then spent time overseas in New Zealand, and then went back, I didn't see anything which I can utilize my knowledge.
I worked as a nurse, a midwife, but mainly pediatric intensive care nurse.
After graduation, I was registered as a pharmacist. I worked as a hospital pharmacist for 5 years before I went into my own practice.
Why did you decide to move, to leave home?
Just looking at the future for the children, changing lifestyle, and looking at where are we going with them. Basically, it was for them. We had everything. If it's Hussein and I, we could have stayed home. We had the money, we had the comfort, but we were thinking, what do we want for the children? We want them to have an opportunity to go to university without any restraints or any constraints, be they financial, and then or environmental.
I used to work in a cargo company. We export to handicraft to Europe and most in America.
I was doing volunteer English. It was supposed to be English teaching, but it was more conversation, I would say. So, yeah.
So we were good friends for like a couple of years, and it sort of year and a half. We were good friends.
He was like my big brother. He used to take me around everywhere shopping, and I knew he liked me, but I was just like, no, whatever.
Actually, I didn't have plan or anything. I was happy there and everything, and I met Amber, and actually she dragged me here.
All right, Clive, why are you here?
I went on a climbing trip to South Africa in '96. I met Clive and we went climbing. After I met Clive, and we'd been together for a few months, he said, well, I'm going to follow you. I'm coming back in 2 weeks. After you get home, I'll be back. I'll be over there.
When Louise first met me, I was a chemical engineer, and I was engaged in the manufacture of inorganic fertilisers.
By this stage, I'd been working on the organic farm just down the road. So when I met Clive, it was interesting to take him out to the farm.
Sleeping with the enemy.
Sleeping with the enemy.
Love, darling. I moved to the Wimmera for love. In fact, I moved to Australia for love. I moved here with my partner at the time, and we both fell in love with Australia, and we were in love with each other, and so it seemed a perfect place for us to come to. I studied at university drama. It's very movement orientated, which seems to be the kind of analogy for my life. I think that's where I know myself the best, when I'm doing movement. So it's kind of interesting that I've become an immigrant.
We decided to come to Australia because nowadays in India, what's the basically trend? Always young people, youngster, after finish their education, they wants to come foreign for their, and so we thought it's better we move earlier. So it's better for Raj's future. Also, as a civil engineer, lots of demand here in Australia. My kids' future is also good.
All right. Now, how did you end up in the Wimmera?
When I came here in Australia, initially for 2 months I didn't get a job, and then I applied for a job which provides me a 15-week training program, and then I got a personal interview with Hind Marshal Council, and then I got a job here in Hind Marshal Council. We stayed here since last July 2006.
I think today is 8 months or?
Yeah, it's already 8 months.
You're not counting, are you?
Yes, I am counting.
I didn't have any plan to move here or anything. And actually, while we living in Melbourne, that place be getting small, and we try to move somewhere else. And Amber was looking something in the internet, and she found this house,
And we came out here and fell in love with the house and made it work.
Tell me, Imtiaz, Why the Wimmera?
So now my wife and 3 children, so they are with me, and we stay in Wagga Wagga, New South Wales. And then again, we are here, the job, we are in the field of research, funding, uncertainty sometimes, so you have to look around. And then I found one of the opportunity in here, small town, when your children are small. I found it much easier to live compared to, say, Melbourne, Sydney, because my kids can go to school just on the bike and I don't have to worry.
We actually found out that there was some very cheap housing here. We found a really cute cottage and it was affordable for us, and so we moved here. Wimmera is quite an extreme place. People go, why do you want to live here? It's like the middle of nowhere. But it's not the middle of nowhere if there's people here who are interesting, and it's an inspiring place to be.
Clive, why the Wimmera?
I had come here. I'd come on a climbing trip to Australia and to Arapiles in the late 80s, and I had a great time and travelled around a frog and the Blue Mountains, and I thought that was fantastic. But I did say to myself, that's it, I probably won't come back again. It just wasn't that fantastically attractive a place.
Until you met the girl
of my dreams.
The Wimmera was not in the plan. It was not in the plot, in the whole big picture. I did an interview with the skilled migration unit. We had this option of coming to Desladna Pharmacy. There was an option of going to Bendigo, and there was an option of staying in Melbourne. Having spent most of our lives in the city in Nairobi, and Joe and I agreed that maybe it will be a better option going into the country, raising these kids in a more serene environment.
Okay, folks. Anything you love here?
The people are just great. Peaceful people.
Yes.
No sticky picking. Okay, I feel you can't miss in a community. You can't miss those sticky pickings. Is that what you call them? Yeah, you can't miss them. They're there, But really, it's not a very big issue.
As far as my concern, here people are very friendly.
Yes.
But here she finds some good friends like Anne.
Yeah.
Because after meeting Anne, I think she gets some good confidence also.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. She gets some good confidence that she can.
She always push me. Yeah, your English is good. Go. So
yeah.
I feel just comfortable. Yeah.
In this case of the Wimmera, I love the massive skies. I love my eye to be able to be cast off, into the distance, and I don't have to see a human thing. It's an extraordinary environment here, and I think it's more attuned, sort of near desert in a way. You're more attuned to what it is to be alive. You can't escape your environment. You're part of it.
What are we talking about?
What are the things that that you like about the Wimmera?
Right, yeah. About the Wimmera itself. I looked in a tourist atlas to Australia, and it talked about the Grampians and what a great place that was, and it said the rest of Western Victoria is just wheat and sheep farming. You don't need to bother to go to the Western Victoria. Now there's a lot more to Western Victoria than that, certainly. Little Desert National Park out here and Mount Arapiles.
Anything you don't like?
The whole of the Western Victoria is a very fragmented environment. The little bits that aren't fragmented are pretty precious. Sand mining activities at the moment have started in the farming areas, but they're prospecting in those bushland areas, which is certainly a big threat to the environment around here. They're going to tear it all up. They're going to just rip all these things down.
Anna, anything you don't like?
I wouldn't have moved here if I didn't really want to be here, if I didn't love the country and the culture and the lifestyle. Of course, at least you're not critical of it, because I am, but being critical is about being an artist. That's what inspires you, and that's what keeps you asking questions.
Yogita, anything you don't like here?
Very peaceful and quiet.
Yeah, it's totally different than metropolitan cities like Melbourne or any other cities in Australia or any other cities of world. It's very peaceful. Too peaceful, no doubt.
Yogita, tell me, what do you do with your days here?
Nothing. But, in the morning we go to school to drop my kids, and again come back to home and prepare lunch. Then noontime I generally watch the TV, and and again at evening time I prepare dinner, and at the night time we talk to India by broadband online.